A werewolf romance written by Olivia Smith. Prologue. They say the moon witnesses all betrayals, but mine was the cruelest. My own pack, the family I'd protected, the wolves I'd bled for, dragged me to the altar stone while my pleas turned to screams. My father's face was stone. My sister smiled. And as midnight's shadow swallowed the last of my hope, a darkness far more ancient than the moon itself descended. The Lycan King wasn't supposed to exist. But when his eyes found mine through the ritual fire, I realized my sacrifice had just begun. And this time, I wasn't the one being offered. I was being claimed. Before we dive in, tell me where you're watching from. What country are you in, and what time is it there right now? Morning, afternoon, or midnight? I'd love to know. Drop it in the comments, then let's get into the story. Chapter 1. The rope burns on my wrists don't hurt as much as the silence. That's what kills me. The absolute quiet from the wolves I grew up with, the ones who taught me to hunt, to fight, to survive. Now they're dragging me through the forest like I'm already dead. My bare feet catch on roots and stones, but I don't stumble. I won't give them that satisfaction. The moon hangs full and merciless above us, turning the path to the sacred clearing silver white. My father walks ahead, his shoulders rigid, his alpha authority radiating with every step. He hasn't looked at me once since the council decided. That hurts more than the ropes, more than my sister Astwood's betrayal, more than knowing what waits for me at the clearing's center. Please. The word escapes before I can stop it. My voice cracks, small and desperate in the night air. Papa, please. I never. He stops walking. For one heartbeat, hope flares in my chest like a dying ember. Then he turns and his eyes are flat, empty of the warmth I remember from childhood. You brought this on yourself, Arya, he says, his voice carrying to every wolf in the procession. The sickness spreads because of your weakness. The moon demands a sacrifice, and you are the only choice. Not the only choice. The truth sits bitter on my tongue. Astwood stands 3 wolves back, her white ceremonial dress pristine, her golden hair braided with moonflowers. She catches my eye and smiles. That same sweet smile she's used since we were children, the one that's always hidden her cruelty. The clearing opens before us like a mouth. Ancient stone pillars ring the sacred space, carved with warnings in the old tongue. In the center, the altar stone waits, dark with centuries of blood. My blood will join it soon. They've dressed me in the sacrifice gown, thin white silk that might as well be transparent in the moonlight, designed to make me look pure, innocent, virginal. It's all theater. The sickness killing our pack isn't about purity. It's about power, about succession, about my father choosing his favorite daughter and needing to eliminate the inconvenient one. But the moon doesn't care about pack politics. The ritual is real, even if the reasons are lies. The wolves form a circle around the altar. I count them, 37, including the pups forced to watch so they learn what happens to those who threaten pack unity. My best friend Mira is there, tears streaming down her face, her mother's hand clamped on her shoulder to keep her from interfering. The pack shaman steps forward, his face painted with ash and blood. He's old, older than anyone can remember, and his eyes are clouded with cataracts that somehow make him see too much. Arya of the Silver Creek Pack, he intones, his voice like grinding stone. You have been chosen by moon and blood to carry our sins into the darkness. Do you accept this honor? Honor. The word is ash in my mouth, but I know the script. If I refuse, they'll make it worse. Make me watch them slaughter Mira first. Make me bear that guilt before I die. I accept. The words taste like betrayal of myself, but they're all I have left. The shaman nods, satisfied, and gestures to the altar. 2 wolves grab my arms, Jace and Thomas, boys I grew up with, boys who once swore they'd protect me, and force me onto the stone. It's cold enough to burn, ancient and hungry. They stretch my arms above my head, securing my wrists with chains that smell of silver and wolfsbane. My wolf recoils inside me, whimpering, growing weaker. The shaman raises the ceremonial blade. Moonlight catches the edge, turning it white fire bright. He begins the chant in the old tongue, and the pack joins in, their voices rising like wind through dead trees. My father's voice is loudest. Astwood's is sweetest. And as the blade descends toward my heart, as I close my eyes and wait for the end, the sky tears open. Chapter 2. The sound comes first. A howl so deep and primal it vibrates in my bones, shaking loose something ancient in my blood. Every wolf in the clearing freezes. The blade stops inches from my chest, the shaman's hand trembling. That howl isn't from any ordinary wolf. It's from something older, something that shouldn't exist anymore. The air pressure changes, making my ears pop. Shadows pour from the tree line like liquid darkness, and the temperature drops so fast, my breath mists white. The pack breaks formation, wolves pressing together, their earlier certainty crumbling into primal fear. My father's alpha command cracks through the clearing. "Hold your positions!" It's just, but he can't finish, because the shadows coalesce into shape. A wolf emerges from the darkness, massive beyond reason. He's easily twice the size of our largest alpha, his fur black as a moonless night, his eyes burning gold like molten metal. Power radiates from him in waves that make my wolf, weakened, poisoned, dying, suddenly surge with recognition. This isn't just an alpha. This is the first alpha. The Lycan King from the old stories. The one who's supposed to be myth, legend, a cautionary tale told to pups. But he's standing in our sacred clearing, and his presence makes the ancient stone pillars hum with responding energy. Every wolf in the clearing drops to their knees. Even my father, who's never bowed to anyone, goes down hard, his forehead pressed to the earth. The pack's submission is instant, instinctive, absolute. Except me. I can't kneel. I'm chained to the altar, spread like an offering, and when those burning gold eyes find mine, the world narrows to just us. He shifts. The transformation is fluid, seamless, nothing like our painful changes. One moment he's wolf, the next he's a man who looks carved from darkness itself. Tall, broad-shouldered, his skin marked with scars and ancient symbols that move like living things. He's naked, but he wears his lack of clothing like armor, like he's above such human concerns as modesty. Power clings to him like a second skin. He stalks toward the altar, and every wolf in his path scrambles aside, their submission so complete they can barely lift their eyes. My father tries. "Your Majesty," he manages, his voice strangled. "We had no knowledge of your presence in our territory. If we'd known..." The Lycan King doesn't even glance at him. His attention is fixed on me with an intensity that makes my skin burn. He stops beside the altar, so close I can feel the heat radiating from his body. Up close, his face is beautiful and terrible. Sharp cheekbones, a cruel mouth, eyes that have seen centuries of bloodshed and betrayal. But there's something else in those eyes as they trace over me. Something that makes my breath catch. Recognition, hunger, possession. He reaches out, and I flinch. But his touch is gentle as he runs one finger along the edge of the blade, still hovering above my heart. The silver burns him. I see smoke rise from his skin, see him not even blink at the pain as he snaps the ceremonial knife in half with his bare hand. The shaman gasps. My father makes a sound like a wounded animal. The blade is sacred, forged in the first moon's light, blessed by the original pack mothers. Breaking it is heresy. The Lycan King tosses the pieces aside like garbage. Then his attention returns to me, and he speaks for the first time. His voice is dark, honey, and shattered glass. "Who dared to chain what is mine?" "Mine." The word echoes through the clearing like thunder. My father surges to his feet, his alpha pride overwhelming his survival instinct. She's my daughter, convicted by pack law of bringing sickness to our wolves. The sacrifice is necessary. The Lycan King finally looks at him. It's not a gentle look. My father stops mid-sentence, his face going gray, his body starting to shake. I've seen my father face down rogues, rival alphas, human hunters with silver bullets. I've never seen him afraid. Until now. Pack law, the Lycan King says, each word precise and deadly, does not supersede blood law, and blood law states that no wolf may harm their fated mate. The clearing erupts in chaos. Wolves surge to their feet, voices rising in shock and disbelief. Fated mate. Those words haven't been spoken in our pack in generations. Chapter 3. 3 weeks earlier, the first wolf died. Old Marcus, who'd survived 2 wars and countless battles, collapsed during the morning hunt. By nightfall, he was gone, his body withered, his wolf spirit consumed from the inside out. The pack shaman examined the corpse, while we all stood in horrified silence. "Curse sickness," he declared, his voice heavy with doom. "Someone has brought corruption into our pack. Someone unworthy carries a darkness that's poisoning us all." Every eye had turned to me. Not immediately, not all at once. But over the following days, as 2 more wolves fell to the same mysterious illness, the whispers started. Arya's different. Arya's weak. Arya never found her wolf voice the way she should have. My father had found me in the kitchen 3 days after Marcus died, my hands deep in bread dough, trying to keep busy, to be useful. His face had been storm dark. "Tell me the truth," he'd demanded. "Have you done something? Brought shame to this pack? Invited darkness through your actions?" I'd stared at him, flour dusting my arms, my heart cracking. "What? Papa, no. I would never—" But Astwood had appeared in the doorway, her perfect face arranged in concern, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "Papa, I didn't want to say anything, but I saw Arya in the woods 3 nights ago. She was meeting someone, a male, from outside our pack." The lie had been so smooth, so believable, and I'd seen the moment my father chose to believe her instead of me. "No," I'd protested, my voice rising. "That's not true. I was gathering herbs for Mira's mother. She can confirm." But Astwood had produced a piece of torn fabric, supposedly from the outsider's shirt. "I found this near where she was meeting him." "Papa, what if she let in a curse? What if her indiscretion opened a door for darkness?" The pack council had convened that night. I'd stood before them, our strongest warriors, our wisest elders, wolves I'd known my entire life, and watched them decide I was guilty. No trial, no evidence beyond Astwood's word, and a piece of fabric that could have come from anywhere. Just their fear and their need for someone to blame. "The sickness spreads because impurity has entered our ranks," the shaman had pronounced, and my father had nodded, his face carved from stone. "We need a sacrifice, the old way. Give the moon a life to cleanse the corruption." Mira had tried to defend me, bless her. She'd stood before the council and sworn I'd been with her that night, gathering herbs, nowhere near any mysterious outsider. They'd called her a liar, blinded by friendship. They'd threatened her family if she continued to interfere. I'd stopped protesting after that. What was the point? My father had already chosen Astwood as his successor. She was everything I wasn't, beautiful, charismatic, ruthless. She had the alpha presence I'd never developed. She could command wolves with a glance while I struggled to assert authority over the Omega pups. This was just convenience, really. A way to clear the path for his favorite daughter while solving the pack's crisis with one neat sacrifice. The moon would get its blood. The sickness would end. Or at least they'd convince themselves it had. And Astwood would ascend as alpha without the complication of a sister who might challenge her claim. I'd tried to escape once, the night before the sacrifice, I'd slipped from my guarded room through a window I'd been loosening for days. I'd made it to the territory border, my heart pounding with hope, my wolf urging me forward into freedom. Astwood had been waiting. She'd stood in the moonlight with 6 warriors, her smile sharp as glass. "Did you really think we wouldn't anticipate this, sister?" she'd asked, her voice sugary sweet. "Did you really think you could abandon your duty to the pack?" They'd dragged me back, and my father had ordered my hands bound after that. No more chances. No more hope. Just the slow countdown to midnight, to the altar, to the blade descending toward my heart. I'd spent my last day memorizing the sky, the trees, the sound of wind through leaves. I'd tried to hold Mira one final time, but they'd kept us separated. I'd wanted to tell my father I forgave him, but the words wouldn't come. Some betrayals are too deep for forgiveness. Now, as I surface from the memory, the Lycan King is breaking my chains. The silver burns his hands, smoke rising from his skin, but he doesn't hesitate. Chapter 4, the chains fall away with a sound like breaking bells. My wrists are raw, bleeding from silver burn and struggle, but the moment I'm free, my wolf surges with unexpected strength. She recognizes him. Every instinct in my body screams mine mate, safe in a way that makes no logical sense. This male is ancient, dangerous, a legend come to life. But my wolf doesn't care about logic. She knows. The Lycan King lifts me from the altar as if I weigh nothing. His hands are gentle despite their strength, and when he settles me against his chest, the contact sends electricity racing through my veins. The sickness that's been eating at me for weeks, the weakness, the exhaustion, the feeling of my wolf slowly dying. It recedes in his presence. Not completely, but enough that I can breathe without pain for the first time in days. "Who cursed her?" His voice cuts through the chaos in the clearing. The question is directed at my father, and it carries the weight of absolute authority. This isn't a request for information. It's a demand for confession. My father's face has gone from gray to white. "Cursed? Your Majesty? There's no curse on my daughter. She's the one who—" "Liar!" The word is soft, but it makes every wolf in the clearing flinch. The Lycan King shifts me slightly so he can look down at my face, and his expression softens in a way that transforms him from terrifying to heartbreaking. "Can you feel it?" he asks me, his voice low enough that only I can hear. "The poison working through your blood? Someone put a slow death curse on you, little one. Someone who wanted you weak and blamed for a sickness you didn't cause." The clearing tilts. I grip his shoulder, hard muscle, warm skin, the feeling of safety I haven't known in weeks, and try to process his words. A curse. Someone cursed me. And the pack's sickness. "It's not my fault?" The question comes out broken, desperate. I've spent weeks believing I was the cause, that something wrong with me was killing my pack. "You're not the disease," he says, and there's rage in his voice now, cold and controlled. "You're the cure they're trying to murder." He turns back to the pack, and his eyes find Astwood with laser precision. She's still wearing her ceremonial white dress, still playing the innocent favorite daughter. But under the Lycan King's stare, her performance cracks. "You," he says. "Step forward." Astwood's face drains of color. "Your Majesty, I don't understand. You understand perfectly." His voice drops to a growl that makes every wolf's fur rise. "You reek of dark magic, witch-bought curses and murder spells. You poisoned your own pack and blamed your sister to clear your path to power." The confession is instant, visible in every line of Astwood's body. She takes a step back, her facade crumbling. My father makes a strangled sound. "Astwood!" His voice breaks on her name. "Tell me he's wrong. Tell me you didn't—" But she can't. Her guilt is written in every trembling muscle, every desperate glance toward the tree line, like she's calculating her chances of escape. The Lycan King hands me carefully to the pack shaman, the only wolf besides him who's ancient enough to be trusted with precious cargo. "Hold her," he commands, "and if any wolf here harms a hair on her head, I will end your bloodline." Then he shifts. The transformation is instant, explosive. One moment he's a man, the next he's that massive black wolf with eyes like burning gold. He crosses the clearing in 3 bounds, moving faster than should be possible, and when Astwood tries to run, he's already in front of her. She screams. It's a sound I've never heard her make. Pure, genuine terror. The kind that says she knows exactly what she's done, and what she deserves. The Lycan King doesn't kill her. Not immediately. Instead, he shifts back to human form and grabs her throat, lifting her off the ground with one hand. "You cursed your own blood," he says, his voice carrying to every corner of the clearing. "Bought dark magic from witches to poison your pack, to weaken your sister until she could be sacrificed. All for power you'll never be worthy to hold." "I had to," Astwood chokes out, her hands clawing uselessly at his grip. "She was in my way. Papa loves her more, and the pack would have chosen her over me. So you became exactly what you accused her of being." The Lycan King's smile is terrifying. A corruption, a darkness, the very thing destroying your pack. He looks at my father, who's on his knees now, broken by the revelation. "Alpha of Silver Creek, your daughter confesses to murder, to dark magic, to treason against her own blood. What is your judgment?" My father can't speak. He's staring at Astwood like he's seeing her for the first time, all his favoritism and blind love crumbling into ash. He starts, then stops. "I don't—" The Lycan King releases Astwood. She collapses, gasping, but before she can run, he speaks a single word in a language older than the pack's memory. The curse mark appears on her forehead, a brand that glows white-hot against her skin. She screams again, clawing at it, but the mark burns deeper. "You wanted to blame an innocent for corruption," the Lycan King says. "Now you'll carry the mark of the guilty. Every wolf will know what you are. Every pack will turn you away. You wanted your sister's death? You'll live with her survival. As the outcast you tried to make her." He turns his back on her, dismissing her existence with that single gesture. Astwood sobs, the mark still burning, her perfect white dress now stained with dirt and tears. No one moves to help her. They're all frozen, watching their world remake itself in the space of heartbeats. Chapter 5. The Lycan King returns to me, and the shaman releases me back into his arms without a word of protest. Up close, I can see the toll his power takes. Fine lines of strain around his eyes, a tightness in his jaw that speaks of centuries bearing weight no single wolf should carry. But when he looks at me, something in his expression softens. "What's your name?" he asks, his voice gentle now, intimate. "Aria." My voice is barely a whisper. "Aria of Silver Creek Pack." "Not anymore." His thumb brushes my cheek, wiping away tears I didn't realize were falling. "You're Aria of the first pack now. My pack, my mate. Mine to protect, mine to avenge, mine to keep." The possessive words should frighten me. Instead, they feel like coming home. My wolf is purring, actually purring in a way she never has before. My father finally finds his voice. "Your Majesty, please. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. If I'd realized—" "You would have what?" The Lycan King's attention shifts to my father, and the temperature drops again. "Believed your daughter's innocence, investigated properly, chosen truth over convenience?" Each question lands like a blow. My father flinches, unable to answer. "You were willing to murder your own child," the Lycan King continues, his voice deadly quiet. "To sacrifice an innocent because she was inconvenient to your plans. Because she wasn't the daughter you wanted, the one who fit your image of power. I didn't know." My father tries again. "You didn't ask." The words hang in the air like a death sentence. "You didn't question. You didn't protect. You failed in every duty an alpha has to his pack, to his blood. The pack is silent, watching their alpha's destruction with wide eyes. Some look ashamed. Others look relieved, like they're glad someone finally said it. Mira's crying openly now, her mother having released her at last. The Lycan King turns to address the entire clearing. Silver Creek Pack, hear me well. Your sickness came from within, from ambition, from jealousy, from a corruption you invited when you chose fear over truth. The curse dies with its caster's mark. Your wolves will recover. He pauses, letting that sink in. I can feel the relief rippling through the pack, can see wolves touching each other in wonder, checking for signs of the sickness already receding. But your alpha has failed you. Failed his daughter, failed his duty, failed the most basic law of pack and blood. I strip him of his title. My father makes a sound like something breaking. To lose alpha status is worse than death for wolves like him. It's the destruction of identity, of purpose, of everything he's built his life around. Please, he whispers, please, Your Majesty, I'll do anything. You'll live with what you've done. The Lycan King's judgment is final. You'll watch your surviving daughter thrive without you. You'll see her become what she was always meant to be, powerful, protected, properly loved. And you'll know that you had the chance to give her that yourself, and you chose to kill her instead. The words destroy my father more thoroughly than any physical blow could. He crumples, and no one moves to help him. The pack that followed his orders, that helped drag me to this altar, they all step back from his disgrace. I should feel vindicated, triumphant. But watching my father break only makes me feel hollow. Can we go? I ask the Lycan King quietly. I don't want to be here anymore. Something shifts in his expression. Approval, maybe, or respect. Yes, he says. We're leaving. Now. He doesn't shift to carry me. Instead, he walks out of the clearing in his human form, carrying me like a bride, like something precious. Behind us, the pack erupts into chaos, voices arguing, wolves weeping, Astwood screaming curses that no one listens to anymore. But the Lycan King doesn't look back, and neither do I. The forest parts for him. Shadows cling to his skin, making the moonlight bend wrong around us. I should ask where we're going, what happens now, what it means to be his mate. But exhaustion crashes over me in waves, the adrenaline fading, the cursed sickness still lingering despite his presence. Sleep, he murmurs against my hair. You're safe now. I won't let anything harm you ever again. It's a promise that should be impossible. But as my eyes grow heavy, as the steady rhythm of his heartbeat lulls me into darkness, I believe him. I believe this ancient, terrifying, impossibly gentle male who appeared from legend to save me. My last conscious thought before sleep claims me. Everything just changed forever. And for the first time in weeks, I'm not afraid. Chapter 6. I wake to silk against my skin and firelight dancing across unfamiliar walls. The bed beneath me is enormous, draped in furs and blankets that smell of pine and smoke and something deeper, musk and power and male. My first instinct is panic. I surge upright, my heart pounding, my wolf immediately on alert. Where am I? How long was I asleep? Where is... Easy. The voice comes from the corner, dark and soothing. The Lycan King sits in a chair carved from dark wood, his eyes reflecting firelight like a wolf's. He's dressed now, black pants and a shirt that does nothing to diminish his predatory presence. You're safe. You're in my territory, my den. No one will hurt you here. Memory crashes back. The altar, the chains, Astwood's confession, my father's fall. I'm not in Silver Creek anymore. I'm with him. Mate, my wolf whispers, pleased. How long was I asleep? My voice is rough, my throat dry. 2 days. He says it like it's nothing, like losing 2 days of my life is completely normal. At my expression, he continues, The curse was draining you faster than I realized. Your body needed time to heal, to purge the poison from your system. I had my healers monitoring you the entire time. 2 days. I've been unconscious in a stranger's home, a stranger who claims I'm his mate, for 2 days. The logical part of my brain says I should be terrified. The part that's been betrayed and nearly murdered says I should trust no one, especially not powerful males who make promises. But my wolf is calm, content, absolutely certain this is where we belong. The curse is gone? I ask, testing the feeling in my chest. The weakness is still there, but it's different now. Healing exhaustion rather than corrupting illness. The mark on your sister ensured that. His eyes darken at the mention of Astwood. The curse broke when I bound her with consequences. Your pack's sickness ended within hours. They're recovering. My pack, I echo, the words feeling wrong now. They're not my pack anymore, are they? No. He's watching me carefully, gauging my reaction. Your first pack now, mine. Though if you want to maintain contact with certain wolves, your friend Mira, for instance, that can be arranged. The fact that he remembered her name, that he's offering me connection to the one person who tried to save me, makes my throat tight. You'd let me see her? I'd let you do anything that makes you happy. He says it simply, like it's obvious. Mates don't cage each other, Arya. They protect. They honor. They choose each other freely, every day. The word mate keeps coming up, but I still don't understand what it means. In Silver Creek, we barely spoke of fated mates. It was old magic, rare, almost extinct. Most wolves chose their partners based on pack politics and compatibility. My father had never found his fated mate, had married my mother for strategic alliance purposes. I don't understand, I admit, pulling the furs closer around myself. How can you know I'm your mate? We just met. You don't know anything about me. My wolf knows. He leans forward, resting his forearms on his knees, and the movement is predatory grace. I've walked this earth for 8 centuries, Arya. I've met thousands of wolves, ruled hundreds of packs, and never once felt the call. Then I was tracking a dark magic signature through your territory, following corruption to its source, and I caught your scent on the wind. 8 centuries. The number is staggering. He's older than most pack histories, older than the oldest legends, and he's been alone all that time. What did my scent tell you? I ask, curiosity overcoming caution. Everything. His eyes glow gold for a moment, wolf rising to the surface. Moonflower and rain. Innocence and strength. A soul that's been tested, but not broken. And underneath it all, the recognition. This is mine. This is who I've waited for. This is the other half of my existence. The intensity in his voice makes my breath catch. No one has ever spoken to me like this. Like I matter. Like I'm not the inconvenient daughter, the weak link, the one to be sacrificed when things get difficult. You said you were tracking corruption? I grasp at the distraction, needing a moment to process everything he's saying. Dark magic signature. Witch-bought curses leave a trail for those who know how to follow it. He sits back, giving me space to breathe. I've been hunting the witch coven responsible for selling death spells to wolves. Your sister bought her curse from them. I would have found them eventually, but when I caught your scent mixed with the corruption, his hands clench into fists. I've never moved faster in my 800 years. The thought that you were in danger, that you might die before I reached you. He cuts himself off, and I see the echo of that fear still lingering in his eyes. This ancient, powerful being was afraid. For me, a nobody from a nothing pack who was seconds away from being murdered by her own family. Why do you care so much? The question comes out smaller than I intended. You don't know me. I could be terrible. I could be. You risked punishment to stop protecting yourself because it would endanger your friend. His interruption is gentle, but firm. When they dragged you to that altar, you didn't curse them or scream for vengeance. You closed your eyes and accepted death because you thought it would save your pack. That's who you are, Arya. That's what I saw in the instant before I stopped that blade. He saw all that? In one moment he understood me better than my family did in 20 years? I don't feel brave, I admit. I feel like a coward. I didn't fight back. I didn't defend myself. I just let them. Because fighting would have meant watching them hurt the people you love more. His understanding is perfect, complete. That's not cowardice, little mate. That's sacrifice. That's strength they didn't deserve and didn't recognize. The tears come then. Not sad tears, but something more complicated. Relief, grief, gratitude, loss, all mixed together until I can't separate them. I'm crying for the family I lost, the father who failed me, the sister who betrayed me, but also for the male in front of me who sees me, truly sees me, and calls me strong. He moves faster than thought, crossing from chair to bed, pulling me into his arms with a gentleness that contradicts his size and power. I should protest. I barely know him. But his embrace feels like safety, like home, like everything I've been searching for without knowing it. I've got you, he murmurs against my hair. Cry as long as you need. Scream if it helps. Break things if you want. Whatever you need to heal, I'll provide. I sob into his chest, letting out weeks of fear and betrayal and pain, and he holds me through all of it, steady and patient, like he has all the time in the world. Maybe he does. Chapter 7. 3 weeks pass in his territory, and I learn what it means to be cherished. The Lycan King, whose name I finally learn is Theron, gives me space and time to heal. He shows me his lands, introduces me to his pack, teaches me the old ways that Silver Creek forgot. His pack is different from mine, smaller but infinitely more loyal. Every wolf here chose to follow him, not through fear or obligation, but genuine devotion. They call him the First, the Origin, the one who remembers when wolves and magic were one. And they accept me without question, without the whispers and judgment I grew up with. Mira visits on the 4th day. Theron keeps his promise, sending an escort to bring her safely through the territorial borders. She cries when she sees me, and we hold each other like we're both checking to make sure this is real. Everyone's talking about you, she says, her voice awed. They're saying you're the Lycan King's fated mate, that he stopped your sacrifice and claimed you in front of the entire pack. Arya, do you know what this means? I have an idea, but hearing her excitement makes it feel more real. What does it mean? It means you're the most powerful female in the werewolf world now. Mira grips my hands, her eyes shining. The Lycan King hasn't taken a mate in 8 centuries. Everyone thought he'd be alone forever. But he chose you. You're going to be a legend. The weight of it settles on my shoulders. I'm not ready to be legendary. I'm barely ready to be myself again. But Theron is patient. He doesn't push for more than I can give. He lets me heal at my own pace. Until the night I ask him about the bond. We're in his study, a massive room lined with books that smell of age and magic. He's teaching me to read the old tongue, his patience infinite as I stumble over words that feel like spells on my tongue. Theron? I set down the book, needing answers more than lessons. What happens if I say no? He looks up from his own reading, his expression neutral. No to what? To this. To us. To being your mate. My heart pounds as I force the words out. You said mates choose each other freely. What if I choose not to? For a long moment he just looks at me. Then he closes his book and gives me his full attention. Then you're free to go. I'll provide you with resources, protection, territory of your own if you want it. You'll never have to see me again. The answer should reassure me. Instead, it makes my chest ache. Just like that? You'd let me walk away? I'd hate it. His honesty is brutal. It would hurt in ways I can't describe. But I won't force a bond you don't want, Arya. Fate may have marked us as mates, but destiny doesn't override choice. If you don't want me, I won't keep you. I study his face, looking for signs of manipulation, for any hint that this is a trap. But all I see is sincerity and pain, deep, old pain at the thought of losing me. "Have you ever forced anyone to do anything?" I ask, testing. "Plenty of times." His smile is wry. "I've ruled through force when necessary. I've made hard choices, sacrificed individuals for the greater good, done things that keep me awake at night, but never with a mate, never with love." The word love hangs between us, huge and terrifying. "Is that what this is?" I whisper. "You love me?" I'm falling. His admission is quiet but absolute. Every day a little more. The way you laugh when the pack pups try to teach you their games. How you cry during sunset because the colors are too beautiful. The questions you ask about everything, your hunger to learn, to understand. You're extraordinary, Arya, and I'm falling in love with you. No one has ever said anything like that to me. In Silver Creek, love was transactional, strategic. You loved people because they were useful, because they served a purpose. But Theron loves me for being me, the curious, emotional, still healing mess of a person I am. I don't know what I want yet, I admit, the words feeling like a betrayal, even though his own rules say they shouldn't be. Then we wait until you do. He returns to his book like the conversation is settled, like my uncertainty doesn't devastate him. But I see the tension in his shoulders, the way his jaw clenches. It costs him to be this patient. Days turn into weeks. I explore his territory, meet his wolves, learn their stories. I discover that Theron saves the broken ones, wolves rejected by their packs, outcasts and orphans and those too damaged for normal society. He gives them purpose, family, a place to belong, just like he gave me. The pack's healer, an ancient she-wolf named Senna, tells me the truth one afternoon while we're sorting herbs. "He's been alone so long, child. 8 centuries of waiting for a bond that may never come. Every decade he'd hope, and every decade, nothing. He was starting to believe he was too old, too changed by time to find his fated match. Then I showed up," I say quietly, "broken and cursed and about to die." "Then you showed up," Senna agrees, "and gave him hope again. Don't mistake his patience for indifference, girl. He's giving you space because he loves you. But every day you're uncertain is another day he wonders if he'll have to let you go." The weight of that knowledge sits heavy on my chest. I'm hurting him with my hesitation. But rushing into something this huge because I feel guilty would hurt us both worse. That night I find him on the balcony of his den, staring at the moon. The silver light turns him into something otherworldly, ancient and beautiful, and impossibly alone. I'm scared, I say, joining him at the railing. He doesn't look at me, just keeps watching the moon. Of me? Of this. I gesture between us. Of wanting something so much and having it destroyed again. My family, my pack, everything I thought was safe. It all turned on me. What if I do the same? Now he looks at me, and his eyes are sad. I can't promise I won't fail you, Arya. I can't guarantee I'll always make the right choices, or say the right things. 8 centuries of experience doesn't make me perfect. Then what can you promise? I need something to hold on to, some certainty in all this chaos. That I'll try. His hand covers mine on the railing, warm and solid. That I'll listen when you're hurt, and fight for you when you're threatened. That I'll respect your choices even when they kill me. That I'll love you, imperfectly, frustratingly, eternally, for as long as you'll let me. It's not a fairy tale promise. It's real, honest, flawed. It's exactly what I need to hear. Chapter 8. The attack comes on the 5th week, when I've finally started to feel safe. We're in the training grounds, Theron teaching me to fight properly. Not the defensive moves Silver Creek taught, but real combat skills meant to protect myself. His hands guide my stance, his voice patient as he corrects my form. Then his body goes rigid. His head snaps toward the forest, wolf instincts screaming warning before I hear the sounds. Howls, dozens of them coming from the border. "Inside," he commands, his voice pure alpha authority. "Now, get to the den and—" The first wolf breaks from the tree line before he can finish. Then another, until there are at least 40 of them. Rogues by their smell, wild and desperate and hungry for violence. They've come for me. I know it instantly. Word has spread about the Lycan King's mate, and every ambitious wolf in the territory sees me as either prize or target. Theron shifts so fast it's like he was never human. His massive black form launches at the nearest rogue, taking them down with brutal efficiency. But there are too many, and while he's the most powerful wolf I've ever seen, even he can't be everywhere at once. A rogue breaks through his defense, heading straight for me with death in its eyes. I should run. That's what I've been taught my whole life. Flee, hide, let the strong ones protect you. But something in me revolts at the idea. I'm not helpless. Not anymore. I shift for the first time since Theron found me, and my wolf is different now. Stronger, faster, touched by the ancient power of my mate bond. I meet the rogue's charge with my own, and we collide in a snarl of fur and fangs. The fight is brutal. I'm not as skilled as these rogues, not as experienced in real combat. But I have something they don't. A reason to survive that goes beyond hunger or ambition. I have someone worth fighting for. I taste blood, mine and theirs. Feel pain lance through my side where teeth find flesh. But I don't stop fighting. Don't give up. Don't let them reach Theron's vulnerable back. The battle feels like it lasts hours. In reality, it's probably minutes before Theron's pack arrives, drawn by the alert system we didn't know had been triggered. The rogues retreat, leaving their wounded behind, and silence settles over the training grounds like ash. I shift back to human form, gasping, my side burning with pain. The wound isn't deep, but it's bleeding freely, staining the ground beneath me. "Arya," Theron's voice, raw with panic. He's at my side instantly, his hands hovering over the wound like he's afraid to touch me. "You're hurt. Why didn't you run? I told you to—" "I know what you told me." My voice comes out stronger than I feel, but I'm not going to hide while you fight alone. Not anymore. Something in his expression breaks. Not in a bad way, in the way ice breaks when spring finally comes. "You fought beside me," he says, wonder in his voice. "You stayed and fought." Of course I did. I wince as his fingers probe the wound, checking for depth and damage. "You're mine too, remember? I'm not losing you to some rogue attack because I was too coward to stand my ground." His kiss steals whatever else I was going to say. It's desperate, claiming, and I taste copper, and fear, and relief on his lips. When he pulls back, his forehead rests against mine. "I love you," he says, the words fierce. "I love you, and you terrify me, and you're the bravest thing I've ever known." "I love you too." The words feel like jumping off a cliff, like free-falling with no guarantee of landing safely. But they're true. Somewhere between the rescue and the patience, and the quiet nights reading together, I fell completely. "You do?" His voice is smaller than I've ever heard it, vulnerable in a way an ancient Lycan King shouldn't be. "I love you," I repeat, stronger this time. "I choose you. I choose this bond, this pack, this life. I choose us." The smile that transforms his face is beautiful enough to hurt. Then he's kissing me again, gentler this time, and the pack erupts in cheers around us. Later, after Senna has bandaged my wounds and scolded us both for being reckless, Theron carries me to his chambers. Our chambers, I realize. Because I've chosen this. Chosen him. Chosen us. "The rogues came for you," he says, settling me onto the bed with infinite care. "Word has spread about my mate. There will be more challenges, more attempts. Some wolves won't accept that I've claimed someone. Let them come." The words surprised me with their ferocity. "I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding. If they want to challenge our bond, they can face both of us." His eyes glow gold with pride and desire. "My fierce mate," he murmurs, his hand cupping my cheek. "How did I get so lucky?" "The moon knew what she was doing," I say, believing it for the first time. "She knew you needed someone who understood betrayal. Someone who'd appreciate your patience. Someone who wouldn't take your devotion for granted." "And what did you need?" he asks, his thumb tracing my lower lip. "Someone who'd see me." The answer is simple, complete. Someone who'd choose me not because I was useful or convenient, but because I was me. "You gave me that, Theron. You gave me everything." He kisses me again, and this time there's promise in it, of futures and forevers, and choosing each other every single day. Outside, the moon reaches its apex, bathing us in silver light. And somewhere in the forest, my old pack feels the shift in power, knows that the girl they tried to sacrifice has become something they never anticipated. Not a victim, not a weakness, but a force, a queen, a legend in the making. The Lycan King's fated mate. Chosen, cherished, and finally, home. Chapter 9. The messenger arrives 3 months later, just as I'm beginning to believe we're safe. I'm in the garden with the pack's younger wolves, teaching them the herbs Senna showed me, when Theron's presence makes every hair on my neck rise. I look up to find him standing at the garden's edge with murder in his eyes. "What's wrong?" I'm on my feet instantly, crossing to him. The young wolves scatter, sensing their alpha's rage. "Your father," Theron says, his voice barely controlled, "has requested an audience, with both of us." The words hit like a physical blow. I haven't thought about Silver Creek in months, haven't let myself wonder what happened after we left. Now my past has come back, demanding attention. What does he want? My voice sounds steadier than I feel. Forgiveness, probably. Or favor. Theron's contempt is obvious. His pack is struggling without proper leadership. Astwood's curse mark makes her unfit to rule, and no other alpha has stepped forward. They're dying slowly, not from dark magic this time, but from disorder and weakness. Good, part of me thinks viciously. Let them suffer the way they made me suffer. But another part, the part that remembers good moments, kind wolves who weren't responsible for the Council's choices, that part aches. Do I have to see him? I ask, hating how small my voice sounds. No. Theron pulls me close, his anger banking in my presence. You never have to see anyone from your past again if you don't want to. I can send him away, can forbid him from ever contacting us. Your choice, always. I should say yes. Should let him turn my father away without a second thought. But closure has weight, and I've been carrying the ghost of my family's betrayal for months. Maybe it's time to put it to rest. I'll see him, I decide. But you're with me. And if I say we're done, we're done. Deal. His kiss is brief but grounding. He touches you wrong, looks at you wrong, breathes wrong. He's gone. Understood? The meeting is arranged for the next day in Theron's formal receiving hall. It's designed to intimidate, high ceilings, dark wood, the throne-like chair where Theron sits with ancient authority. I stand beside him, not behind, wearing the ceremonial dress of First Pack. Silver and moonlight, marking me as the Lycan King's chosen mate. My father looks smaller than I remember. The proud alpha who ruled Silver Creek with absolute authority now carries himself like a wolf who's lost everything. His eyes find me, and I see the shock register. I've changed, filled out from regular meals and pack care. My hair is longer, healthier. My eyes hold confidence I never had before. Arya, he breathes my name like a prayer. You look well. I don't respond. Let him feel the weight of my silence the way I felt his on the walk to the altar. Theron's hand finds mine, squeezing gently. My anchor. You requested this audience, Theron says, his voice formal and cold. State your business. My father tears his gaze from me to address the king. Your Majesty, I come to beg forgiveness for my failures. I failed as an alpha, as a father, as a wolf. I let ambition and favoritism blind me to truth, and I nearly murdered my own daughter for it. The words sound rehearsed, but there's genuine shame beneath them. I don't ask for Arya's forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. But I'm asking for help. Silver Creek is dying. Without strong leadership, without guidance, we'll be scattered within the year. Please, I'm begging you to intervene. Why should I? Theron's question is mild but deadly. You showed no mercy to Arya when she was innocent. Why should I show mercy to your pack now? Because they're not all guilty. My father's voice breaks. Many wolves tried to defend her. They were overruled by the council's fear, by my weak leadership. Punish me, but please don't let innocent wolves suffer for my sins. It's a good argument, a fair one. And I can feel Theron waiting for my input, for my choice on whether to help or let Silver Creek fall. Part of me wants revenge, wants to watch them crumble the way they tried to break me. But I remember Mira's kindness, the younger wolves who'd looked up to me, the elders who'd protested quietly even if they couldn't stop the sacrifice. What happened to Astwood? I ask, speaking for the first time. My father flinches at the question. She left. The curse mark made her an outcast. No pack would take her. Last we heard, she was living as a rogue in human territory, trying to hide what she is. The information settles like dust. My sister, who wanted power so badly she was willing to murder for it, now has nothing. It should feel like victory. Instead, it just feels sad. If we help Silver Creek, I say carefully, what would that look like? Theron squeezes my hand again, support, not judgment. Whatever I choose, he'll back me. We could send advisors, he suggests. Wolves from First Pack who could help rebuild their structure, establish new leadership. Your father would step aside completely, let the pack find their own way forward. And what would I get? I direct the question to my father, letting him hear the steel in my voice. What do I get for helping people who tried to kill me? My father drops to his knees, the proud alpha, on his knees in front of his rejected daughter. Nothing I give you could ever be enough, he says, tears streaming down his face. But I can offer the truth. The truth about your mother, about why I favored Astwood, about the real reason you were always treated as lesser. The words catch me off guard. What truth? Your mother was my fated mate. His admission is quiet but explosive. My true mate, the one the moon chose for me. When she died giving birth to you, I blamed you. Irrationally, cruelly, I blamed an innocent child for taking away the love of my life. Astwood looked like her, same golden hair, same smile. So I poured all my love into her and withheld it from you. The confession shatters something in my chest. All those years of wondering what was wrong with me, why I could never earn his love. It was never about me. It was about his grief, his inability to process loss. That's not an excuse, he continues, his voice thick. It's an explanation. I failed you from the moment you were born, and then I let that failure build until I was willing to sacrifice you. I destroyed the only piece of my mate I had left because I was too broken to love you the way you deserved. Theron's thumb strokes my hand, silent support. The choice is entirely mine. I could turn my father away, let his pack fall. It would be justice, but it would also perpetuate the cycle of pain and betrayal that nearly killed me. I'll help Silver Creek, I say finally, but not for you. For the wolves who tried to protect me. For Mira and the others who deserve better leadership. My father's sob is broken, grateful. I'll arrange for advisors to travel there within the week. They'll help establish a new alpha, new council, new structure. But you step down completely. No authority, no input, nothing. You'll be Omega rank until you earn your way back to the pack's respect. The sentence is harsh, but fair. My father nods, accepting it without protest. And one more thing, I add, my voice hardening. You'll never speak to me again unless I initiate contact. You'll never seek me out, never send messages, never try to rebuild what you destroyed. I'm not your daughter anymore. I'm the Lycan King's mate, and you're just a failed alpha who has to live with his choices. I understand, he whispers. Thank you, Arya. Thank you for having mercy I never showed you. Theron dismisses him then, and we watch my father leave, shoulders bowed, broken but accepting his fate. When the door closes, I feel something in me release. Not forgiveness exactly, but closure. The ability to move forward without his ghost weighing me down. Are you okay? Theron asks, pulling me into his arms. Yes, I say, and mean it. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Chapter 10. 6 months later, I stand on the balcony of our den, watching the full moon rise over First Pack territory. Behind me, I hear Theron approaching. I always know his step, his scent, the way his presence changes the air. Thinking deep thoughts? He asks, wrapping his arms around my waist, pulling my back against his chest. Just reflecting. I lean into him, comfortable in a way I never imagined possible. A year ago, I was being dragged to an altar. Tonight, I'm planning our mating ceremony. The ceremony is in 3 days, a formal recognition of our bond, a celebration for the pack. We've been mated in every way that matters for months, but Theron wants to honor me publicly, wants every wolf in our territory to witness my claiming. Regrets? His question is light, but I hear the underlying vulnerability. Even after all this time, part of him still fears I'll change my mind. Not a single one. I turn in his arms, looking up at the male who saved me in every way a person can be saved. You gave me everything, Theron. A home, a family, a purpose. You taught me that being chosen isn't about being perfect. It's about being seen for exactly who you are and loved anyway. His kiss is slow, thorough, filled with promise. When he pulls back, his eyes are glowing gold. I have something for you, he says, producing a small wooden box from his pocket. I was going to wait until the ceremony, but I can't. I need you to have this now. Inside the box is a necklace, ancient silver shaped like a crescent moon, with a stone at its center that seems to hold captured starlight. It belonged to the first Luna, Theron explains, his voice reverent, the original Lycan King's mate, the mother of our kind. It's been passed down through 8 centuries, waiting for the right she-wolf to wear it. It's yours now, Arya. You're not just my mate. You're first Luna, the beginning of a new era. The weight of it is staggering. I'm wearing history, carrying a legacy that spans centuries. But looking at Theron's face, seeing the absolute certainty in his eyes, I feel ready. Help me put it on? I turn, lifting my hair. His hands are gentle as he fastens the clasp. The moment the necklace settles against my skin, I feel it. A connection to something ancient. A power that's been sleeping, waiting for me. It suits you, Theron says, his voice rough with emotion. Like it was always meant to be yours. A howl rises from the forest, pack song, celebrating their Luna. Then another voice joins, and another, until the night fills with music. Our family, calling us home. Come on, I say, grabbing Theron's hand. Let's run with them. We shift together, my silver-white wolf and his massive black, and we race into the forest. The pack flows around us, greeting their Alpha and Luna with joy, with love, with absolute acceptance. This is what I was meant for. Not to be sacrificed on an altar, not to be the convenient victim of someone else's ambition, but to be this, a leader, a Luna, a wolf who survived betrayal and found the strength to build something better. Later, after the run, after we've hunted and played and reinforced pack bonds, Theron and I return to our den. He's watching me with that look he gets, the one that says he's still amazed I'm his, still grateful I chose him. "What are you thinking?" I ask, crawling onto the bed beside him. "That I spent 800 years alone," he says, pulling me close. 8 centuries thinking I'd never find my mate, that I was destined to rule without that bond. And then you appeared, broken and cursed and seconds from death, and everything changed. I wasn't very impressive when we met, I point out, laughing. I was literally chained to an altar. You were magnificent. His disagreement is fierce, facing death with dignity, protecting the wolves you loved even when they'd failed you. You had no idea an ancient king was about to crash your sacrifice, but you faced the end with courage. That's when I knew. Knew what? That you were stronger than any wolf I'd ever met. That you deserved to be saved, to be cherished, to be given the world. That I would spend the rest of my existence making sure you knew your worth. Tears prick my eyes, happy tears this time. You did that, I whisper. You showed me I was more than what Silver Creek said I was. You taught me to fight, to lead, to believe in myself. You gave me everything. We gave each other everything, he corrects, his forehead resting against mine. You gave me hope again, Arya. Purpose beyond survival. A reason to believe the future could be better than 8 centuries of loneliness. You're my miracle. I kiss him then, pouring everything I feel into it, gratitude, love, desire, commitment. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard, both glowing with the strength of our bond. 3 days, I say. 3 days until the ceremony, until everyone knows officially that I'm yours and you're mine. They already know, Theron says, his smile wolfish. But I'll enjoy claiming you in front of witnesses anyway. Let every wolf in the territory see what happens when you try to sacrifice your greatest treasure. Someone stronger comes along and steals her away. Steals? I raise an eyebrow. I seem to remember choosing you. You did, he agrees. Best choice you ever made. Second best, I correct, making him pause. The best choice was fighting beside you instead of running. That's when I knew this was real. That's when I became your mate in truth, not just in bond. His eyes glow gold again, wolf rising to the surface. My fierce Luna, he growls approvingly. What did I do to deserve you? You saw me, I say simply. When everyone else looked away, when my own family tried to end me, you saw who I really was. That's all I ever needed, to be seen. Everything else grew from that. The moon rises higher, bathing us in silver light. Somewhere in Silver Creek, my father lives with his regrets. Astwood wanders as a rogue, marked and alone. But here, in First Pack territory, I've built something new, something better. A family that chose me, a mate who cherishes me, a future that's mine to shape. The girl who was sacrificed to the moon at midnight became the Luna of the most powerful pack in existence. They tried to end me, but instead, they set me free. And as Theron pulls me close, as our pack howls their celebration into the night, I understand the moon's wisdom. Sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in betrayal. Sometimes you have to be broken before you can become unbreakable. Sometimes the sacrifice isn't the ending, it's the beginning. My beginning. Our beginning. The start of a legend that will last 8 centuries more and beyond. The Lycan King's chosen mate, the Luna who survived sacrifice to become salvation. This is my story, and it's only just begun. The end.